Okay, friends. So again, welcome on YourPedia. Welcome on this session, live session, and this session is related to the HPCL exam, which is soon going to come. Soon means you still have more than 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and we are expecting this HPCL exam in the month of October 2024, and lot of seats this time. I mean, almost 100 seats for mechanical engineers, 40 plus seats for electrical engineers, and good opportunities for mechanical engineers. Now the syllabus which they have given, so the syllabus which mechanical engineering syllabus is given, in that syllabus there are a couple of new topics which are added. 21 22, I mean 2021 2022 HPCL का जो एग्जाम हुआ था तो उसका सिलेबस सेम था. 2023 में वो सिलेबस आपका थोड़ा सा ऐड हुआ, चेंज नहीं हुआ, ऐड हुआ, और ये टॉपिक्स डाले गए. दीज वर द टॉपिक्स विच आर पार्ट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज पेपर 1 एग्जाम ऑल्सो. तो इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज पेपर 1 का जो टॉपिक्स हैं वो ऐड हुए HPCL में, and that became game changer in 2023. Why? Because the topics, students were not very much comfortable in these topics. And friends, if you want to crack HPCL, if you want to clear HPCL exam, let me tell you, this part you should be good at. आपको ये अच्छे तरीके से आना चाहिए. And YourPedia is giving wonderful module to all of you, those who are preparing for HPCL exam, written exam plus group task and interview. That module you should take, and you should give your 4 months thoroughly. वैसे तो गेट वाला सिलेबस है काफी, प्लस 15 क्वेश्चन जो आपके आएंगे आउट ऑफ 85 टेक्निकल, that is not matching with gate. The pattern is different. I mean, exam ka syllabus may be same, but pattern is different. Now what we are doing here in this basically in this particular syllabus, I am taking this basics of energy environment. तो ये वाला पोर्शन मैं करवा रहा हूं, और आज इसी पोर्शन का एक और टॉपिक तुम लोगों को करवा रहा हूं. दिस इज द पोर्शन विच आई एम टेकिंग फॉर यू. So far I think I've taken some 4 classes on this. Environment impact assessment की 4 class, 2 class, and then I have taken the class for this climate change, 2 classes for climate change, 2 classes for environment impact assessment, and I have taken the questions for these topics. And आज environment pollution का एक topic which is related to acid rain, and which is related to photochemical reactions, photosynthesis process. उसके ऊपर छोटा सा हम डिस्कशन, उसके ऊपर टॉपिक्स पे डिस्कशन करेंगे, एंड आई विल बी टेलिंग यू टॉपिक्स रिलेटेड टू दैट. So let's go forward, friends. Let's proceed forward and do these particular topics. So today I'm going to take this acid rain and photochemical reaction. So what do we understand by acid rain, and what do we understand by photochemical reaction? So as you can see in this diagram, it's very clear in this diagram. Acid rain means rain के अंदर acid. So there is a acid inside the rain which is there. And what is now acid? As you can see in this particular diagram, though we are going to discuss that, NOx SOx जब water के साथ वो जुड़ता है, so water plus these acids will give you H2SO4 HNO3. That is called acid rain. Photochemical reaction means photo means solar energy. So that solar radiation or solar energy will hit the molecule, which will go to its excited state and produce the product. Normally the carbon dioxide plus water will give you glucose or will give you sugar in presence of the solar radiation or solar energy. That is called photochemical reaction. Now photo means solar energy, light, and chemical reaction is there. Now photosynthesis process is the example of that. ये दो के बारे में बात करते हैं, and let's see what we are going to talk about these two. Now what is acid rain? So try to understand. Okay, acid rain is nothing but it is a acid deposition, and this is the broad term, and that includes these two acids, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Now it can be wet and it can be dry. And acid rain is in the different forms. It can be rain, snow, fog, hail, and even dust. This is called acid rain, right? So when we talk about acid rain, it can take different forms. So exam में आएगा acid rain में कौन कौन से acid होते हैं. You should be very clear about the name of these acids. And कौन सी form में होता है, जैसे rain, snow, fog, hail, dust. Right, that is the acid rain. Yeah, so Rasik, you want to ask some question? Go ahead, ask your question. Okay, so friends, another diagram, very clear diagram for you. Right, so from where this is coming, NO2, SO2, from there it is coming. So it is coming from power plants, it is coming from the transport vehicles or automobile, you can say. It can come from some other fossil fuel burning or something, all combined together, and then it mixed with H2O, which give you these two acids. That becomes acid rain. Yes, so resume is required for interview. For the interview of HPCL, they will give you a question, they will give you a document, and you have to take that document to the interview. ओके, सो आप क्लासेस लगाएं फ्रेंड्स, और ये यूट्यूब से रिमूव करना नहीं करना, दैट इज द डिसीजन ऑब्वियसली दिस पीपल मैनेज, दे विल टेक, आई मीन दैट विल टेकन लेटर ऑन, बट यू अटेंड द क्लासेस फर्स्ट, राइट? क्लासेस लगाओ ढंग से और इनको अटेंड करो. एसिड रेन फॉर्म कैसे होता है? नाउ सी हाउ इट इज फॉर्म्ड एंड रिमेंबर द नेम्स. सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड एंड नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड, when it mix with the water and oxygen, it gives you these two things. That is called acid rain. Most important thing. अब there's a term called pH. एक टर्म होती है फ्रेंड्स pH, पोटेंशियल ऑफ हाइड्रोजन. याद कर लो, पोटेंशियल ऑफ हाइड्रोजन वो अगर 7 है तो न्यूट्रल होता है. pH अगर 7 है, pH स्केल 0 to 14 होती है. So pH स्केल, potential of hydrogen, that scale is 0 to 14. 0 means most acidic, सबसे ज्यादा एसिडिक जो होता है 0, और ये अल्कली होता है 14. 7 न्यूट्रल है, जैसे वाटर है, दैट इज 7. नाउ एसिड रेन में होता है 4.2 to 4.4, दैट मींस इट इज लिटिल एसिडिक. एंड नॉर्मल रेन वाटर कितना होता है? उसमें भी एसिड होता है थोड़ा सा, लेकिन नॉर्मल रेन वाटर इज 5.6. राइट, सो ये रिमेंबर कर लेना, ये बातें जो थोड़ा सा इंफॉर्मेशन है, प्लीज रिवाइज. डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आता है एग्जाम में. नाउ सी दिस डायग्राम अगेन केयरफुली. 0 to 14. 0 is the very very acidic. Battery acid, lemon juice, vinegar, कोका कोला, कॉफी. वाटर इज 7 न्यूट्रल. उसके बाद नीचे सोप 10. तो जैसे से अल्कली आता जाएगा वैसे वैसे बेसिक होता जाएगा. और एसिड रेन का मैंने आपको बता दिया रेंज कितना है, that you should know. Right friends, okay, so let's go next now. What are the causes of acid rain? होता क्यों है एसिड रेन? उसका कारण क्या है? एसिड रेन का कारण क्या है? सबसे पहला कारण, सबसे बड़ा कारण, फॉसिल फ्यूल का बर्निंग ऑफ द फॉसिल फ्यूल, especially the fossil fuel which carries sulfur dioxide and at higher temperature nitrogen oxide. So nitrogen oxide normally आपका ऑटोमोबाइल या इंटरनल कंबशन इंजन के अंदर होता है। इंटरनल कंबशन इंजन या ऑटोमोबाइल, because the temperature is very high and at that high temperature there is a nitrogen oxide. So automobile is one of the main source of this acid, and then there is a power plant and industries, power plant, and automobile. Nitrogen oxide from automobile, others sulfur dioxide and all are from power plant etc. also. और क्या सोर्स हो सकता है? वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन एंड लाइटनिंग. So you get sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide from volcanic eruption also. Volcano का फटना, lava फटना, you know that. Okay, so friends, let me tell you one thing, all of you, that not every, I mean, entire module cannot be free here. You understand that because YourPedia ने मॉड्यूल को बहुत बड़ा, ज्यादा बड़ा मॉड्यूल होता है. It is not 2-3 topics, 5-6 topics you can get that free on the YouTube, but entire is not available obviously. So अगर आपको HPCL निकालना है, you can take the module of YourPedia. That is a paid module obviously. That is always going to be better, and it is not YourPedia. Any other platform, अगर आपको एग्जाम निकालना है तो प्लीज टेक दैट मॉड्यूल. नाउ डेज इट इज नॉट वेरी कॉस्टली. 3000 4000 बहुत ही कम अमाउंट होता है. 4 मंथ के लिए तुम्हें पढ़ाई करनी है. 3-4,000 is not amount if you get hundreds of hours of classes and all. So go for it, friends. Right? And then air pollution. In atmosphere, the pollutants like SO2, NOx, they undergo the chemical reaction and they give you sulfuric and nitric acid. तो ये आपको यहां पे मिलता है. So these are the causes of acid rain. तो ये उसके कारण होता है acid rain का. So you should know these are the causes of acid rain. Now next we go to what are the various forms of acid rain. एसिड रेन किस फॉर्म में आपको मिलता है? व्हाट इज द वेरियस फॉर्म्स ऑफ एसिड रेन एंड डिपोजिशन, राइट? सो व्हेन वी से रेन, व्हाट कम्स टू द माइंड इज लाइक इट इज ओनली एसिड रेन है तो मतलब ओनली लिक्विड फॉर्म में ही ये आएगा. व्हाट कम्स टू द माइंड इज इट इज ओनली इन द लिक्विड फॉर्म और वेट फॉर्म, but actually it is not only wet deposition, it is dry also. Acid rain can be dry, acid rain can be wet also. So on the vegetation, water bodies, buildings के ऊपर भी deposit हो जाता है. So acidic particles and gases may get deposited. और कौन कौन सी फॉर्म में होता है ये? Rain, snow, fog, hail, ये all the forms are there of acid rain. These are the forms of acid rain, and it can be wet and it can be dry also. Yes. So इलॉन मस्क, अगर उसने आपसे सीवी मांगा है, जब वहां पे आप जाओगे तो सीवी मांगता है, उसमें से क्वेश्चन पूछता है. तो एचपीसीएल इंटरव्यू में, इन द इंटरव्यू ऑफ एचपीसीएल, दे आर गोइंग टू आस्क यू क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम द डॉक्यूमेंट विच यू हैव फिल्ड एंड सीवी ऑल्सो. उसमें से क्वेश्चन पूछता है इलॉन मस्क, उसको अच्छे तरीके से रिवाइज करना. दैट इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट. ओके, अब एसिड रेन का इंपैक्ट क्या है? क्या इफेक्ट है, क्या इंपैक्ट है ऑफ एसिड रेन? व्हाट इज द इंपैक्ट ऑफ एसिड रेन ऑन एक्वेटिक लाइफ? एक्वेटिक लाइफ मींस वाटर बॉडीज से जो रिलेटेड लाइफ है, फिश, एनिमल्स और वेजिटेशन जो कि उससे रिलेटेड है, उन सब का जो किस तरीके का इंपैक्ट है, उसका क्या इंपैक्ट होगा एसिड रेन का? व्हाट आर द इंपैक्ट्स ऑफ दैट ऑन एक्वेटिक लाइफ? So acid rain can make water bodies as river, lake inhospitable, and it becomes acidic. So it is not very good for then this fish and other kind of aquatic life. That is basically negative for that. After that, what is the impact of on the marine life? तो marine life के लिए भी ठीक नहीं है और marine species के लिए भी acidic rain is not good. So this is the another impact of acidic life on basically acidic rain on different kind of marine and other vegetation, aquatic life. अब सबसे ज्यादा फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे भी एसिडिक इफेक्ट का क्या इंपैक्ट होता है एसिडिक रेन का. सो मॉन्यूमेंट्स एंड इन स्ट्रक्चर्स लाइक ताजमहल, ताजमहल का व्हाइट मार्बल हैज स्टार्टेड बिकमिंग येलोइश, कारण उसका एसिडिक रेन, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड, एंड इट लीड्स टू डिके एंड कोरोजन ऑफ सच मार्बल. तो ताजमहल का येलोइश कलर is because of H2SO4 and that is because of acidic rain. So that is the reason of Taj Mahal and the color of Taj Mahal, why it is becoming yellowish color. That also is the reason. That is also the impact of acidic rain on this. Okay, now थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस एसिड और बेस के अंदर, that is for your reference. Acidic rain, I told you pH scale is there. When there is a pH scale, 0 is maximum acidic, 14 is maximum alkali or basic, and 7 is neutral. Water is 7. Acidic rain 4.4, 4.6. Normal rain is 5.6 or something. Now, what is the difference between acid and base? Acid, base, you know, less than 7 is acid pH scale, more than 7 is base. It produces H. Acid produce H, and hydrogen ions that produce hydroxide ion OH. The taste is sour, the taste is bitter, it is corrosive, it is soapy or slippery. So this is some difference of acid and base. राइट नाउ एसिड रेन के इंपैक्ट को कैसे कम करें? हाउ कैन वी मिटिगेट द इंपैक्ट ऑफ एसिड रेन? If there is a acid rain and it is having the impact, then how to mitigate the acid rain impact? उसको mitigate किस तरीके से करें? What can be done? So सबसे पहले है desulfurization, फ्यूल का desulfurization. SO2 should not be there. And what can be done for that? You know, coal power plants, the biggest source is coal power plant. So coal power plant have used this technology like flue gas desulfurization. If that is being done to reduce sulfur dioxide emission by more than 90%. So if SOx emission को reduce कर दें तो आपका acidic rain नहीं बनेगा. दूसरा, what is GRAP? Graded Response Action Plan. Graded Response Action Plan is emergency measure जो NCR region में होता है. आप जानते हैं दिल्ली के आसपास NCR region में there is a lot of pollution. So दिल्ली region में, NCR region में pollution कम करने के लिए, to reduce the pollution in NCR region, what is done is sometimes even odd number system or some system is being used. So Supreme Court ने ये allow किया था that you can use GRAP. GRAP means Graded Response Action Plan. That means you can take some of the actions so that these kind of polluting air pollution can be controlled. So GRAP is another solution for your acid rain mitigation measure में. GRAP is also one of the method by which we can prevent such kind of pollution in our big cities. तो उनमें भी उसका एक मेजर हो सकता है. कुछ और मेजर्स हैं, जैसे आप जानते हैं भारत स्टेज 6 BS6, it is very very important. BS6 is being used since 2000 in India now. 2000 से हम भारत स्टेज 6 for vehicular pollution, this is for automobile emission. These are the automobile emission standards. BS6 भारत स्टेज 6. तो BS4 के बाद आया भारत स्टेज 6. There was nothing like BS5. So immediately after BS4 was BS6. BS4 के बाद आया BS6 and that is since 2000 being implemented. And then I'll be discussing with you what is national air quality index, kitna hona chahiye, that I will discuss with you. There are some other parameters also, measures also, but BS6 2000 is important. And this national air quality index is the another important measure to check the this acid rain kind of things. Now let's go for Bharat stage emission standard क्या है, and very very important topic, Bharat stage emission. पहली बात, ये इसका फुल फॉर्म जो है बीएस का है, भारत स्टेज एमिशन स्टैंडर्ड, एंड दिस इज यूज्ड फॉर मोटर व्हीकल्स. दो तरह के व्हीकल होते हैं मोटर व्हीकल्स. देयर आर टू काइंड ऑफ मोटर व्हीकल्स. एक बोलते हैं पेट्रोल की गाड़ी और एक बोलते हैं डीजल. सो ऑल द मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर्स नो, ये होता है आपका एसआई और ये होता है सीआई इंजन, इंटरनल कंबशन इंजन, स्पार्क इग्निशन इंजन एंड compression ignition engine, CI and SI engine. Now these standards are controlled by Central Pollution Control Board, and that comes under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So Bharat stage norms are given by Central Pollution Control Board, and Central Pollution Control Board is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So Bharat stage 6 is presently being used in India, and that is European standard से basically ये हमने लिया है. These are the European regulations. So भारत स्टेज हमने यूज करना स्टार्ट कर दिया है 2020 से. हमें भारत स्टेज 4 करना था, लेकिन हमने भारत स्टेज 6 पहले ही कर दिया, एंड वी स्टार्टेड इट फ्रॉम 2020. तो अभी भारत स्टेज 6 दिल्ली में तो 2020 से इंप्लीमेंट हो गया था, बाकी जगह पे भी अदर प्लेसेस आल्सो वी आर यूजिंग भारत स्टेज 6. दैट इज द इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर अस. नाउ दिस इज द मैकेनिक्स ऑफ भारत स्टेज 6. implemented from 2020, it is the most advanced emission standard for automobile and is equivalent to Euro 6 norms. Very very important slide, friend. Very very important slide for your exam, and it is related to vehicular pollution. Now on board diagnostic OBD is mandatory on all vehicles. For two-wheelers, fuel injection system will be used. OBD is what? What is on-board diagnostic? It is if there is any area of malfunction, it can be identified by some kind of default code on the computer. So this is what Bharat stage 6 is. So you can compare Bharat stage 4 with Bharat stage 6. Bharat stage 4 and Bharat stage 6, all you need to know, what is the sulfur content in parts per million, ppm. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को भी ऐसे मेजर करते हैं, पार्ट्स पर मिलियन. सो फॉरगेट अबाउट भारत स्टेज 4, इट इज नो मोर देयर नाउ. भारत स्टेज 6 में SOx या सल्फर का कंटेंट पार्ट्स पर मिलियन में कितना होना चाहिए? डीजल और पेट्रोल में 10. यू रिमेंबर दैट. Right? Okay, now little bit more information, friends. Whenever you check for Bharat stage petrol and diesel vehicle, what are the various gases or components checked? In Bharat stage 6, or which is Euro stage 6, for petrol and diesel, carbon monoxide 1, hydrocarbon 0.1, NOx 0.06, particulate matter 0.005, एंड सल्फर मैंने आपको बता दिया सल्फर का कितना होना चाहिए. सो दिस इज बेसिकली द स्टैंडर्ड इन यूरो 6 मींस भारत स्टेज 6. सो यूरो 6 मींस भारत स्टेज 6। ये थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन आपको आ सकता है, पूछा जा सकता है, सो यू शुड हैव सम आइडिया अबाउट इट। Little bit about data, because you are going for, HPCL. HPCL is a oil based, energy based company, एंड पेट्रोल पंप हैं HPCL के। तो पेट्रोल भरवाने जब गाड़ी आती है, डीजल भरवाने जब गाड़ी आती है, HPCL इज डीलिंग विद पेट्रोल एंड डीजल। ये इंटरव्यू में भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है। दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द इंटरव्यू आल्सो, and that can be asked in the written exam also, that what do you mean by pollution certificate, उसके अंदर क्या क्या होता है। many times in the interview this question they have asked, pollution certificate कभी बनाया है, have you ever got your pollution certificate, and on that pollution certificate what is written on the pollution certificate. So those kind of things they have asked many times in the interview of HPCL. Now friends, let's talk about national air quality index. What do we mean by national air quality index? So it is the air quality status to be told to people so that they understand how is the quality of air. So one number, single value will be given to you, one number will be given to you, and that will be talking about the pollutant. So one number or single value will be told to you. And then there are 6 air quality index categories. There are 6 air quality index categories: good, satisfactory, moderately polluted, poor, very poor, and severe. There are 6 categories, and each category is based on some pollutants, which are 8 pollutant. There are 8 pollutant: PM10, PM2.5, NO2, SO2, carbon monoxide, ozone, NH3, and lead. Very, very important slide. So what are the pollutant which are checked to know air quality index? Air quality index is a very, very important number. तो हमारे पास 6 कैटेगरीज हैं एयर क्वालिटी का। देयर आर 6 एयर क्वालिटी कैटेगरीज, and single number is given, air quality index, and these are the 6 air quality index categories, and there are 8 pollutant. So the name of the pollutant and the categories is important for you to know. And this is that value. Good means air quality index, good means air quality index number is given like this: 0 to 500. Air quality index number is given from 0 to 500. 0 to 50 means air quality is good. 50 to 100 means satisfactory. 100 to 200 moderately polluted. Poor quality 200 to 300. Very poor 300 to 400. Severely polluted 400 to 500. So air quality index. So you should know what is air quality index. Now, what are the pollutants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pollutant and 6 categories. Air quality index means 6 categories, 8 pollutant. And each pollutant, what is the value, acceptable value and all. So that also is given to us. Right? Very, very important slide, friends, for you to know how it is done. As I'm telling you that this topic is important for written exam also of HPCL, as well as interview also, because in the interview also they may ask you this question from HPCL. Okay, now this is what I told you earlier, that in the 6 categories, good means 0 to 50, satisfactory means 50 to 100, moderate 100 to 200, poor 200 to 300, very poor, and severe. These are the 6 categories. Okay, now next part we were going to do today is photochemical reaction part. Now, what is the meaning of photochemical reaction and photosynthesis process is example of that. Photo means light energy and chemical means the molecule will absorb that energy and give you some product. And photosynthesis is the process, is the basically example of photochemical reaction. So photosynthesis is the main process that eventually sustains the life on planet Earth. So photosynthesis is the main process that sustains the life on planet Earth. And photochemical reaction means, light energy is absorbed by the substance molecule. Okay, now this is the example of photosynthesis process. Carbon dioxide plus water. Photosynthesis means when the plant, the leaf of the plant, which is a green color, there is a element in that, it will basically absorb this and solar energy give you glucose and oxygen. So this is a typically the reaction which you can see in the photosynthesis process. So carbon dioxide plus water in presence of uh, ultraviolet radiation of solar energy, UV light, and chlorophyll, it will give you glucose or and oxygen. And that glucose you can get in different forms of fruit which you have, like any kind of fruit if you name, so that contains this. Okay, now photosynthesis is photochemical process. What happens in that? Green plant, seaweeds, algae, and certain bacteria will absorb solar energy and will use the solar energy to convert atmospheric carbon dioxide into carbohydrate in the presence of water. So glucose is the example of carbohydrate. So water plus carbon dioxide gives you glucose here, carbohydrate plus oxygen. So why photosynthesis process is called photochemical process? Because sunlight is the photo energy and chemical is basically chemical reaction. And to sustain the life of the animal, including human being, oxygen and carbohydrates are required. We need oxygen, we need carbohydrate. Right, friends? So this is basically required in that. This is a typically example of photosynthesis, and that opens us to the discussion on Kelvin cycle also. Even Kelvin cycle is a very important topic. It is nothing but a cycle consisting of 3 stages. उसका डिटेल में जाने की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है केल्विन साइकिल, बट लिटिल बिट आइडिया यू शुड हैव. एग्जाम में सिंपल क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड फ्रॉम केल्विन साइकिल. Okay, now photosynthesis we have already discussed here, but I want to tell you there are 2 stages of photosynthesis process. There are 2 stages in which photosynthesis can take place. One, light dependent reaction, which we know in the presence of solar energy, the photosynthesis process is taking place. Second, also in the dark or Kelvin cycle or C3 cycle. So C3 cycle is a light independent reaction photosynthesis process. In the absence of the light, when there is a darkness, in the absence of light or when there is a darkness, then also this photosynthesis process is taking place, and that is called Kelvin cycle or C3 cycle, and that occurs in the absence of solar energy, that occurs in the darkness. That is the Kelvin cycle. So C3 cycle may not be requiring solar energy. It can take place in the darkness also. So you should know what is the C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle. So what is Kelvin cycle? Now remember this slide will tell you a little bit about the Kelvin cycle, sufficient for you for your exam. You should know this much only for your exam. Kelvin cycle is a chemical process in which the carbon dioxide is converted into sugar. तो ये तो हमारा photosynthesis में भी होता है, that happens in the photosynthesis also. But in the Calvin cycle, because it is the C3 cycle, so there are three stages, right? There are three stages here. And in this, basically, we get the same thing. Carbon dioxide is converted into glucose or sugar. That is what we know as a Calvin cycle. Carbon from carbon cycle is fixed into sugar, and that is a chloroplast. So basically, Calvin cycle is nothing but photosynthesis process only. What is the end product of C3 cycle? Glucose, ADP, NADP, all these are the end product of C3 cycle or Calvin cycle. Okay, so okay, so what are the three stages, friends? What are the of uh, three stages of this Kelvin cycle? Okay, so the three stages, the names only, friends, you need to remember the names. Okay, so Indu is asking about NADP. NADP का full form है इसका. NADP has a full form. If I tell you that for a full form of NADP, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. But I don't think that is required. I mean, they are the end products. As I told you, Calvin cycle बहुत बड़ा एक topic है chemistry का. I don't think that is required for us in this particular exam. Other than के Calvin cycle C3 cycle को बोलते हैं और उसकी stages क्या होती हैं, that you should know. The three stages are in the three main stages. One is carbon fixation, the first stage in which the carbon is to be fixated, and that carbon is basically, the purpose is to reduce carbon dioxide and to take the carbon dioxide and convert it into sugar. So carbon dioxide is basically fixated, that is the first stage. तो C3 cycle Kelvin cycle के अंदर first stage is carbon fixation. The second stage is reduction stage. Second stage is a reduction stage in which the fixated carbon is converted into molecule of simple sugar or glucose. There is a second stage, reduction. Just remember the names of the stages. So there are chemical agents like NADP. They are the names. NADP, there is a name, but there are chemical agents which facilitate this entire chemical process. So the energy from ATP, NADP is transferred eventually to the sugar. And why this process is called reduction? Because electrons are transferred to molecule to form another component. And the third stage is regeneration stage. So third stage is regeneration stage. And in the regeneration stage, you produce the glucose. So friends, whatever I marked with the red color, that only you revise. So there will be things which I will ask you not to go through in detail. देयर विल बी थिंग्स व्हिच आई आस्क यू टू गो इन डिटेल। तो आपको केल्विन साइकिल में बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना है, आपको उसके जो स्टेजेस है, दोस स्टेजेस यू शुड बी knowing. Now, if somebody asks you what are the examples of photochemical reaction processes, तो photosynthesis process is the example of that. Another, आपने कई बार देखा होगा, suppose the light, if I change the light, suppose I switch off the light and suppose I switch on the light, तो size of the retina, size of my retina will change as the light falls on my retina. That is also example of photochemical process, because in the retina there is a photoreceptor cell molecule, rhodopsin it is called, and it changes its shape when the sunlight basically falls on the retina. So that is the basically photochemical reaction process. So photochemical reaction, this is how it can be summarized. Photochemical reaction process can be summarized like this. So solar energy will fall on a molecule, it will go to the higher energy state, and then eventually it will give you some kind of product. Now, what is the example of photochemical reaction process? Ozone layer is also the example of photochemical reaction process. So photochemical dissociation of molecule into oxygen atom. Ozone layer, as you know, oxygen, when the solar light, what happens is, as you know, ozone layer is formed in the stratosphere. The first layer is called troposphere, which is up to 10 kilometer, and then 10 kilometer to 50 kilometer is the stratosphere. So ozone layer is present in the stratosphere. Now solar light, ultraviolet radiations come, and oxygen will mix with oxygen atom and give you ozone. Now that is a photochemical reaction process, and as we know, ozone will basically consume the ultraviolet radiation and protect human being from ultraviolet radiation. And if ultraviolet radiation is not prevented by ozone, then human may get the skin cancer. So this particular process is a very very important process. Similarly, other, you do go for x-ray, you go for photography, these are also examples of photochemical reaction processes. These are also photochemical reaction processes. ये भी उसी का example है, right? Now some questions, friends, which I'll give you today, and you will solve, you will see these questions. So Calvin cycle, C3 cycle can be in this category. Absorption of ultraviolet and visible radiation takes place. Photochemical photosynthesis process. So ultraviolet and visible light is there in the solar radiation. That is, the solar light is actually the visible and ultraviolet radiation. So solar radiation is ultraviolet, and on the surface of earth it hits and gives you infrared radiation. Now this infrared radiation is trapped by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and leads to the global warming. So solar light is ultraviolet light, and this light, when gets reflected from surface of earth, its wavelength gets increased and it becomes infrared radiation. Infrared radiation gets absorbed by greenhouse gases and global warming takes place. Okay, next question is, presence of light is not required for reaction to take place. Photochemical में presence of light is required. It is the requirement. It involves the absorption of light radiation. It is required. So friends, HPCL is a easy target for many of you जिनका गेट नहीं हुआ है but they want very good jobs. HPCL can be a easy target for you. इसलिए इसको ढंग से रिवाइज करो, HPCL की अच्छे तरीके से तैयारी करो. Only YourPedia is giving you dedicated module for HPCL. Nobody else is providing you. So you please prepare it well so that you convert it. And YourPedia is giving you entire module. I mean, this module of written exam and interview both. Next question is this. Ozone is formed by photochemical dissociation of molecular oxygen into individual oxygen element. And then these individual oxygen atoms will meet with molecular oxygen to form ozone. So क्या होता है, पहले तो ऑक्सीजन को तोड़ के O प्लस O बनता है, फिर O2 प्लस O आपका O3 बनता है. तो ये अल्ट्रावायलेट रेडिएशन की प्रेजेंस में डिसोसिएशन होता है, डिसोसिएशन ऑफ मोलिकुलर ऑक्सीजन इनटू इंडिविजुअल ऑक्सीजन, एंड देन इंडिविजुअल ऑक्सीजन विल मीट विद ऑक्सीजन टू गिव यू ओजोन. Okay, which of the following is an example of photochemical reaction? So the light energy is captured by chlorophyll, which is present in the chloroplast, and then water is spitted by photon, and it leads to ATP production, and then entire process is driven. Very simple question, friends. I'm very sure you can understand these all questions. Question number 6. Acid rain, which produces the acid rain? So let me tell you, air pollution. So SO2, NO2 plus H2O gives you H2SO4, HNO3, something like that. So that eventually gives you acid rain. So acid rain is because of air pollution. It is because of air pollution, because ये आपका air के अंदर होता है. These things are in the air. Now, when the acid rain falls on the surface of earth, it gives you soil pollution. So the soil pollution is when the acid rain will fall on the surface of earth. तो आपका air pollution, उसका soil pollution होगा. Right? Okay, next question. What are the two acids formed when gases react with tiny droplets of water in the clouds? Sulfuric acid and nitric acid. This is sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And this only leads to the acid rain. So acid rain, friends, is the result of these processes. What is the nature of acid rain? Answer is corrosive. Acids are corrosive. acid rain is going to be corrosive. Which of the following is acid rain affecting plants? So basically the acid rain will create the soil pollution. जो soil है उसका pollution create होता है. So clearly see the air pollution will lead to the acid rain and the acid rain will eventually lead to soil pollution. ये बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसको रिवाइज कर लेना. एयर पोल्यूशन से एसिड रेन होगा और एसिड रेन से सॉइल पोल्यूशन होगा. तो ऐसे ये सर्कल में आपका होता है. So what is the result of acid rain when it falls into water body? क्या होगा water body को? Obviously water will become acidic. Not a rocket science, everybody knows. Right? Okay, so friends, I think we have seen all these now points which we wanted to discuss, and this all we discussed today. But let me tell you, this entire topic which we are doing is for HPCL. We are doing this entire thing for HPCL, and in HPCL exam 2024 will be having the syllabus in which गेट का जो टॉपिक है वो तो है ही, कुछ नए टॉपिक ऐड हुए हैं और वो काफी डिफरेंस डालते हैं. 85 में से 15 मार्क्स आर फ्रॉम दीज टॉपिक्स जो इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज के ऐड हुए हैं, एंड ऑन YourPedia वी आर कवरिंग दोस टॉपिक्स ओनली. तो अगर अभी तक आपने प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट नहीं किया है HPCL का, it is our advice, friends, you start preparing for HPCL because it is going to give you very good job, because 100 seats are there for mechanical engineers and they are going to call interview में 700 students of mechanical only. And once you get interview call and GT call तो सब लोग बराबर होते हैं. उसके बाद even if your score is less you can get finally selected in HPCL, क्योंकि eliminating होता है group task and interview. So it is my advice to you, if you want a really good job, start your preparation as soon as possible. तो लाइव क्लासेस आप अटेंड करते रहना, इनको रिवाइज कर लो. यू नेवर नो, दिस कैन बी रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द यूट्यूब चैनल in future, so you keep revising these classes which are being covered for you on YouTube channel. Chalo, I take leave of you now and you revise it, and I'll conduct the next class tomorrow with new topics. Thank you.